Hello and welcome to a Seismic Cinema podcast. So grab some Frey pies, rest your feet on the Iron Throne, and prepare to revisit the Seven Kingdoms over the next 40 to 50 minutes.
Stand by.
40 to 50 minutes. Oh God. Okay. I should have wrote more down.
Maybe not as much as that. So we've decided with the new Game of Thrones spin-off, House of the Dragon, coming out 2 weeks on Monday, that we would dip our feet into the Game of Thrones water by doing a couple of ranking videos just to get ourselves and our listeners back into the Westeros mindset. And obviously this show, people probably aren't as excited about it as maybe they would have been because of how Game of Thrones ended. Would that be accurate?
I would say so. That's probably how I felt. Like if Game of Thrones had ended strong, I'd have probably been looking forward to this more. Plus, it's been a while since Game of Thrones ended, so I don't know if the interest is still. Well, not personally for me. The interest wasn't really there for me, so. But it's starting to build a wee bit now since we started doing this.
Yeah, it's been advertised quite a lot. I might watch the trailers again soon. It's I think this show is based on. I think there is books that link into it.
I think so. Yeah. Have you read any of the books now?
I've read kind of maybe half, like 3 out of 6 of or 4 out of 6 of like the main ones. I just find them a wee bit slow. The books. I prefer the shows. And this is coming from somebody who much prefers the Harry Potter books to the movies. So to celebrate, if that's the right word, the House of the Dragon coming out, we decided to do a ranking of our favourite houses in Game of Thrones. And Paul decided that his 10 to 6. What was your reason again, sorry?
I just thought, I've got my top 5, but then above that, there wasn't really much I could say about the other houses. Like, they're all kind of on the same kind of level, and just didn't think it'd be interesting with me kind of waffling on about 5 similar things. So I just went for the top 5. And
that's fair
you've
enough.
got your top 10.
Yeah, I was just going to rattle through my first 5, just because I've got them there, and you might have some. You might want to input on some of the points possibly as well.
I wonder if there's any surprises in here.
Yeah, we'll soon find out. So we were originally going to just pick 10 mutual ones and then rank those, but I thought when I started looking into it a bit more, there was some other houses that I didn't mention in that original list that I sent you that I wanted to include. So I'll kick off then. See when I say favourite, it's not that I think some of these characters are like good people, but it was more just like, are they memorable? Like do they have
entertaining?
Do they have characters that are memorable and that have a big impact on the story? So my number 10 slot was the Bolton family.
Only number 10?
Yeah, they're number 10. So basically, there's obviously Ramsay Snow, or Ramsay Bolton as he becomes, who's possibly the best villain in all of Game of Thrones. Could be argued.
I would say so. Well, the most psychotic, at least.
And there's his dad as well, whose name has escaped me. Roose, is it Roose or something like that?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Roose, right. Bolton. So that was my number 10. I thought the dad and obviously the psychotic son were really memorable characters.
Yeah. Do you remember their flag? Their banner?
No.
It was like the flayed man.
Ah, yeah, I remember now. So I kind of wish I'd rewatched Game of Thrones before this show came out because it'd have been a fun excuse to do that, and also it would have reminded me of a few of the details ahead of doing this ranking.
Yeah, my mum and
So,
dad would love this because they rewatch it all the time. They just go through it back and forward all the time.
we should maybe we should get Vicky on for the next week's.
Oh, definitely not.
So number 9, I went for the Tarly clan, mostly
Sam?
mostly because of Samwell, but his brother is it Dickon, is it?
Yes.
He was in it a bit, and also his horrible father was in it. And is he the one that got wasted by the dragon?
Yeah. Is Dickon the
What,
one that is he not in the Umbrella Academy?
the actor?
Yeah,
He might be. I don't know.
I think it is. You know the big kind of guy that's like the big hairy one.
I only watched the first episode of that, but I did actually quite enjoy it. I don't know why I didn't
Oh,
go back to it.
oh, I thought you watched the first season. Never mind.
No, I watched like at least the first episode. So number 8, because of the two brothers, I went for the Clegane family. So the Hound is one of my no spoilers for next week, but the Hound's a very memorable character, I would say.
Delivers a few good one-liners, which we can't say because
Nice, yeah,
we're too nice and we don't say the bad words.
got to be done. Number 7, quite a memorable family with Theon and his sister, the Greyjoy clan.
Oh, Yara.
Yes, Yara. Alien's making faces at me, by the
Oh,
way.
is he in there?
Alien's here, yeah. You come to say hello? No? Okay.
You come to guest again?
Right, and so 7 was the Greyjoy family, and number 6, I went for the Mormonts.
Oh, yes, the
Um,
one.
there's the Mormont guy that's Daenerys' right hand, and then there's the wee lady leader.
Oh, yeah. So Jorah was the right hand man,
Yeah.
and also the guys in the bank adverts, the Bank of Scotland adverts.
Are you
He
just
was a Mormon,
are you constantly just going to mention where people were in this one?
pretty much, yeah. So
Mhm.
he's in the Bank of Scotland adverts.
Yes. And talking about the Bank of Scotland adverts, one of our future guests for Game of Thrones content might be a Bank of Scotland employee.
Oh, I think I say Bank of Scotland were going to sponsor us or something.
No. So that was my 10 to 6. What did you make of that selection?
Yeah, quite good, pretty varied. I actually forgot about those houses. See, when you sent me those top 10, that that list, I kind of forgot like some of these existed. To be honest, it's been that long since I watched all this. And I watched it through once, and I watched a few episodes a couple of times. But yeah, so a few of those houses I did totally forget about, but they're good shouts.
You'll need to get a rewatch done then.
There's not enough time in the world for that.
Right, so I think you should start then since I've done the first 5. So you want to give us your number 5?
Right, okay. My number 5 is House Bolton.
Oh, really?
Like we're talking about the rankings, about how like the kind of memorable characters, and I just remember basically Ramsay Bolton being an absolute nutcase, and every episode you knew like as soon as he turned up, nothing good was going to happen. And Roose was just uh, devious. Let's say devious.
Because he was a big
And
part of the Red Wedding, wasn't he, Bruce Bolton?
he was, yes, that's right.
Because it was
Because he was,
his. Because Lady Stark kind of pulled back his sleeve and saw it, the chainmail.
mm-hmm, yeah, because he kind of gave a wee hint, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
What was going to happen. But yeah, so treacherous, but delightfully treacherous. I do have a wee kind of soft spot for the bad guys, and yeah, they were pretty bad. The banner's pretty memorable as well. In the battle, I can't even say the name of the. Can I say the name of the battle just because we can't swear?
You can just bleep over there by yourself.
All right, Battle of the Beeps. The Battle of the Beeps, and you see all the Burning Man effigies of the prisoners, and they're actually pretty good warriors as well. So I went for number 5 as House Bolton.
Very nice. So my number 10 was your number 5. So my number 5 was the Tyrell clan, because I felt they had quite a few important characters. One obviously being Marjorie, who was married to at least 2 of the kings.
Yeah, she was, wasn't she?
Joffrey and the younger brother as well.
Who was it? She was married to. Sorry, what did you say?
She was married to Joffrey.
Joffrey,
and,
yes, actually.
And then Joffrey's wee brother as well.
Yeah, was she not married to Renly?
She was married to Renly Baratheon as well.
You know what? See, for like the past hour, trying to think of what his name was, and I couldn't remember what it was, and it just came to me there when you're talking.
Do you know she was in Captain America: First Avenger?
Yeah, does she not give him a sweet smooch?
Yes, she kissed Captain America. Also, obviously, there was Marjorie's brother Loras, who had a relationship with Renly as well. But another great Tyrell character was the grandmother, Olenna.
Oh yeah, she was really good. I loved her.
Yeah, who had that great scene with Jaime Lannister. So she was a really important character as well. So I thought the Tyrell family, because they're really rich, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they were like funding a lot of the King's Landing. They're providing a lot of funding to them.
How did she die? Did she poison herself or something again?
Yeah, because remember she's up in like a tower when they're attacking. The Lannisters are attacking.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So yeah, I thought the Tyrells were a really important family in the wider scheme of things. So that was my number 5.
Beautiful. My number 4, excuse me, was the House Baratheon.
That's you look like you'd fit in there.
Hey, Stannis is baldy. What are you talking about?
You got the beard for Robert.
I think probably the body shape and all. Yeah, so I thought like obviously they're quite important because they had King Robert, and then they had Renly vying from the throne when it got taken over. But probably the main reason is because I quite like Stannis, even though he's quite unhinged at times. He was like a really good like commander of men.
Yeah.
And I thought his death was a wee bit. Oh, actually, I don't know why I'm going to say that because literally everybody's death in this seems unceremonious. So
it was kind of off screen though, wasn't it? You didn't really see it happen.
I think so. Yeah, it wasn't he?
Because it was what's her name? Tall lady. All these Game of Thrones names just fall out your head after you're not watching them, don't they?
Captain Phasma.
Yeah, Captain Phasma. Yeah, Gwendolyn Christie.
Brienne Tarth.
That's the one.
God, it's all coming back to us now.
Yes.
So yeah, I went for Baratheon just because they were kind of like the old school house that were in charge of the throne, and then they're always just trying to vie to get it back. And they had some really interesting characters like Stannis. Like I really liked his character, even like I'm saying, even though he's a bit cuckoo and burning children and stuff. You know.
No, that didn't actually happen in the books, I don't think.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of liberties from the books I heard, and the characters don't look anything like what they meant in the books. But no, that's interesting. Didn't know that. But yeah, number 4, Baratheon. What about you, number 4?
Also, before I do number 4, just wanted to show my Game of Thrones t-shirt.
True fan.
True film. So my number 4, I feel like my top 4, I don't know how you felt. I felt like the top 4 were very kind of interchangeable, and you could easily have them in different positions. My number 4, I went for the Targaryens.
Yeah.
And obviously, for most of the runtime of Game of Thrones, Daenerys is one of the good people. And obviously, she has that infamous ending that we all know about. But I felt with her, we didn't really get to know many of them that well in the main storyline, apart from her horrible brother Viserys, who was not a fan favorite. So he got his crown. So um, yeah, do you know what I mean? I just feel like out with Daenerys and Viserys, there isn't really any Targaryens in the main story. I guess you can count Jon Snow, spoilers, as part Targaryen, but he's not really part of that family for the most part.
Yeah, that's why I was having a hard time when I was trying to put this in a place because, like you're saying, it's a house, but you really know one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Obviously,
You count the dragon. You count the dragons in the house.
I suppose, obviously, this new show is called House of the Dragon, and it's predominantly about the Targaryens. So this show
Yeah.
will essentially fill that gap because you hear about a lot. You hear a lot about Rhaegar, the older brother, who
Mm-hmm.
was dad essentially, and you hear about the Mad King a lot. So you hear a lot about them from other people, but you don't really see them on screen.
Yeah. Oh no, my little dragons just appeared. Mando. Oh, buddy. Um. So yeah. Well, basically, I'm just gonna like jump in there. So because you're talking about number 4, my number 3 was the Targaryens.
Okay.
Uh, so pretty much what you were saying, because I was even swithering not to put them in the top 5 because there's not much to them just now, and obviously there's going to be more coming in with this new series. But like, House Targaryen was just Daenerys, and then her beeping brother uh, at the start, who gets a quite justifiable death.
Yes.
But then the dragons, I counted them in as the house, so I thought that bumps them up a few spots. Um, but yeah, it's fascinating because like they talk about them, like there's so many kind of bits in the series where they just talk about the past, about the Targaryens. So on all their exploits, so I'm really looking forward to going back and seeing what happened.
Yeah. The more we are talking about this, I feel like I actually am quite looking forward to this show. I'm going to watch the trailers and just do a wee bit more kind of background reading into what it's all about.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do you know? Because I seen, was it Matt Smith that's in it?
Yeah.
And he's one of the Doctor Who's, and he's in the Morbius film.
Big Paddy's in it. Paddy Considine from Hot Fuzz and World's End.
Oh, right, yeah. One of the Andes.
Yeah. They're both called Andrew. We need to do some kind of content related to the Cornetto trilogy at some point, or Simon Pegg.
We do. There's so many people out there that love it too. So
we could rank the Edgar Wright movies or Simon Pegg movies in general.
Yes, very true. That could be on the rankings, yeah. You know, Scarlett didn't like Hot Fuzz.
Strange.
I know, right? I know.
It's my favorite
hanging,
movie.
hanging by a thread with that. We were that night, hanging by a thread.
Right, so my number 3 was, and I feel like the top, because we're only doing top 5, I feel like we're going to have kind of similar names in around here. So my number 3 was the Baratheons. And I feel like just the 3 brothers all have their important roles. Obviously, Robert is one of the main players in season 1, and he's the first king that we see. Renly plays a big part in the story, as does Stannis. And obviously, we lose. Well, Stannis is in the story longer, but they're essentially they're not really extinct because Gendry is Robert's son, so he kind of carries forward the bloodline.
Oh yeah, that's right. what was he, a blacksmith or something, wasn't
Yeah. So that's another character you can add in there for the Baratheons as well. It's amazing how all these names just come back to you as you're going into it, don't they?
he? Yeah, because that's what I was worried about. I was like, I'm gonna have to like Google like every house and every character again, just because the only people I could remember is like Rob and John.
Yeah. So Baratheon's number 3. As I said, just all 3 of the brothers were just quite an interesting dynamic because they obviously really didn't get on, and there was that weird bit with the shadow baby taking out Renly.
Yeah, oh, that's right. In the tent,
Yeah.
Gwendolyn Christie just looking on horror.
Yes. So my number 3 was the Baratheon. See, when I was looking it up, I think there's actually, it seems like there's 2 Baratheon houses. There's one to do with. Did you see that? Did you Google the names of the houses?
No.
It seems like there was like 2 different. I can't remember looking at it right now, but there was like 2 different versions of like the Baratheon house. So that was it. So what was your? Well, we've obviously got the same top 2 because the 2 ones that we know will come up haven't been mentioned, but it'll be interesting to see what order they come out in. So,
Okay.
what was your number 2?
Well, I think I know how it's going to go because I feel like in our duo that I'm the slightly more evil one.
Never presume.
So my number 2 is House Stark.
So is mine.
Oh, jeez.
So I thought it's probably better just to have a overall discussion about the houses now that we know the order. So obviously Stark is 2 and Lannister is 1. So what was your thinking behind putting the Starks in second place?
Well, like I like the Starks. They were had a lot of interesting characters, but like season 1, like I hated Sansa and I hated Arya. I
You
couldn't
hated
stand.
Arya?
I just get like season 1. I just couldn't stand her for some reason.
I can understand you not liking Sansa in the early seasons, but I liked Arya.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just more a penchant for the more devious characters because obviously the Starks are always like the good guys, um, and they're always up against it. But I don't know, I just found the Lannisters to be more interesting. There was more intrigue to their house because there's so many interconnecting stories and plots. Like they're always trying to like get one over each other.
Yeah.
Whereas the Starks were always like straight as an arrow, except like Bran, I think was the exception because he went a bit weird with that three-eyed raven thing. Kind of threw me.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite aspect of the storyline. There's 2 bits for me. I think, as you said, the Lannister characters are more interesting. I just felt like the Starks were a wee bit boring at times because they're very like stoic and follow the rules, and
Where
like
did you learn stoic? Where did you hear that word?
it's quite a good word, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Jon Snow, like obviously everyone loves Jon Snow, but he is a wee bit dull, if we're honest.
Yeah,
Like
and a bit naive.
he's just kind of like brooding and just quite serious a lot. And Ned Stark is another great character who again was quite dull and straight laced. I feel like if we'd seen more of Ned Stark, the Starks could potentially have been higher because I thought he was such a good character that obviously his death is such a great like catalyst for the series, putting everything into motion. But I feel like the Starks maybe could have been. I don't know. I just wish we'd seen more of Ned Stark, if I'm honest.
Yeah. See, when I first started watching this, I watched this from season 2. I totally missed season 1. And
You
I know, right?
you're literally becoming a verb. Like to do a poll, watch a TV show in a logical manner.
Oh, I don't know. I think I watched the first episode of season 1, and then I just missed the rest of them. And I started watching season 2, and I was like, oh, like there's a few people not here. I went back to it and I was like, oh god, everyone's dead.
At least you didn't start watching it straight after the Red Wedding.
Yeah, true. That had been a bit of an eye opener. But
yeah, so I watched the first like maybe 3 or 4 episodes, and didn't quite grip me at that time. And then maybe a year later or something, I started watching it, and I just absolutely binged the first 4 seasons. So I watched seasons 5 to how many seasons was there? Was it 8 or 9? 8.
8.
So I watched seasons 5 through to 8, like as they came out, and we used to also speak about it at the time. It's when I lived in my old flat. I would get up at like 5 in the morning on a Monday to watch it before work.
Yeah, that was like the one show like you'd be waiting, you'd be counting down the days for it to come on, and see the amount of spoilers that used to be on the internet for it. Like I would be like working night shift. It used to come out in like it was a Sunday night or a Monday or something, and I used to work in night shift. And I come home, I go on Facebook, and it'd be like see Joffrey's death. Open my Facebook, and it was just a picture of him like poisoned, like stuff coming out his face. I was like, guess he's dead. And you know
Jon Snow's death was ruined for me.
Was it? Who's ruined that for you?
I just saw it online.
Did you? And see Arya killing Nightwalker.
Night
That
King.
was on Sky News.
Night King.
The Night King. So what did I say? Nightwalker. The White Walker Night King. Yeah. So Sky News spoiled that for me. Like I was just looking at the news, and then there's a picture of Arya stabbing Night King. It's like Arya kills the Night King. I was like, no way.
I've got a new tactic I use when I don't want to see spoilers for a TV show. So the only way I'll go on social media if I'm waiting for like Obi-Wan or Andor or whoever we're watching is I'll just kind of have see if I see anything that looks like that show or any words that might relate to that show. I just like literally just kind of close my eyes enough so that I can't. It just goes like unfocused.
Oh, see, I can't do that. See, if I see it, I'm just kind of like, I don't want to see it, but I do, and it's just like drawn to it.
If I see anything to do with like Star Wars on when I'm not watched Obi-Wan yet, I'll just like either just close the app or just like close my eyes, essentially. So Targaryens, the reason they're in first place for me.
You mean Lannisters?
Yes. What did I say?
Targaryens.
So the reason the Lannisters in first place is just like Tyrion and Jaime Lannister are just outstanding. Like Tyrion, it's just so funny. His character wasn't as great in later seasons, but Jaime Lannister's character arc is one of the best kind of character arcs probably in television history. Ruined a wee bit by his ultimate finale, but you must admit the episodes and seasons where he was going from like the guy you hated in season 1 to like one of your favorite characters in the latter seasons.
Oh yeah, I know. At the start, you're just wanting him to die so quickly, and then at the end up, you're just totally rooting for him.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Bronn made a good team.
And it wasn't just Jaime and Tyrion. Obviously, Cersei isn't a character that you were to like, but she was very forbidding, very calculating. And Joffrey, again, another one you love to hate, and he was in Batman Begins.
Was he? Was he the kid?
He's the wee boy at the start. He's definitely at the start of Batman Begins.
Has he been in anything else? I've not seen him in anything else. Did he give up acting or something?
Probably. He's been typecasted. There's some Tywin again, another great character.
Oh, Charles Dance, yeah, he's always great in everything he does.
So yeah, there's probably other ones as well that we've forgotten about. But
probably, yeah.
And I just think the Lannisters have like the most complex, most memorable characters, I would say, overall.
Definitely. That's why I put in my first place, really, because like there is more of them, but yeah, it's just like everyone's doing their best to screw each other over.
Like drinking and new things.
That's actually quite a good impression.
Really?
The Jon Snow one, huh?
No.
King of the North.
I need to practice them. I'll do some. We can do our best Game of Thrones impressions in our hopefully next week character ranking.
Oh God.
Means I can practice.
Right. Oh, I'll give you 2 and you give me 2 to do, and we'll do that next week.
Okay, I want you to do the Hound without swearing. And I would like you to do Bronn since you mentioned it.
Bronn and the Hound. Okay. I like it. I feel like I need to swear though, but
No.
we can edit that, right?
You can.
Maybe. I'll try and figure it out. Right. And you can do Ned Stark.
Winter is coming.
And Joffrey.
Okay.
So you need to be a really stoic guy and a wee bratty boy.
I can handle both of them. Is there any honourable mentions? Houses that you thought about but didn't include?
The Greyjoys. I quite like the Greyjoys. I liked Euron because he was just a selfish weirdo and wanted to do it to get what he wanted. And Yara was quite funny.
That's your screen name. Theon had a great character arc as well.
He did. For a man that had no PP, he did well.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a few.
By the way, I forgot to say, you're a dink.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You're a dink. Right. These aren't so much honourable mentions, but they're just the other houses I wrote down when I was deciding on my top 10. So the Martells, but mostly just for Dinjarin.
Yeah.
Martell. Yeah. He was a great character with a very memorable death, but I didn't really like the other ones in his family because they were quite unpopular, the Sand Snakes.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't get into the top 10. They might have done just because we all love what's his face? I forgot his name. Not doing very well with this one.
No. Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal, yeah. Thank you. Other ones include the Tullys, which was Caitlin Stark's
House. Maiden House.
Aye. Because I don't know, they were just a bit useless.
They weren't in it much.
Nah, they were just a bit useless. Remember that scene where they were shooting arrows and he just kept missing? Her brother kept missing.
Oh yeah, a funeral pike, wasn't it?
Ed Muir was his name. Because remember he reappears in the last episode as part of the wee council.
Yeah, because he's like a puppet, isn't he?
Yeah. So who else was in the Arryn family? Obviously, we don't really meet John Arryn because he dies before the story starts. But his wife, which is Lady Stark's sister, the really weird one, and her son, who appears in the last episode, really grown up.
Yeah, the one still
breastfeeding.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah,
and he is actually the actor that plays him is in that show Sex Education.
I've never watched that.
It's really good. Another honourable mention sort of is they're horrible but memorable. The Freys, particularly, particularly Walder Frey, aka Argus Filch, aka the guy from Hot Fuzz with the sea mines.
Yeah, sea mine.
So yeah, those were kind of honourable mentions that I had thought of there. So don't know about you, but I've quite enjoyed going down the kind of Game of Thrones memory lane. We mentioned Game of Thrones in our TV show ranking, and I do feel for me TV shows is about the journey, not the destination. So like shows like How I Met Your Mother, Lost, which I don't think it's got a bad ending, but other people do, and like Game of Thrones, people just decide that was a waste of time. To me, that's not how I feel about TV shows. See if I've enjoyed the journey. See if the end's not great. I can personally go over that. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Well, like it wasn't great, but I'm not one of these people that goes like, I hate Game of Thrones because the way it ended. Like you're saying, it was great up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they didn't stick the landing, but not many shows these days really do. So yeah. I still enjoyed it.
Because it's like suits as well. It suits decreased in quality in the latter seasons, but it's still my favorite show because I just loved the characters and the world they lived in.
Plus, with Game of Thrones, there wasn't too many characters left at the end.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I think I'm quite up personally for doing the character ranking next week because I think we've probably touched on a lot of the characters, but it'd be quite interesting to see where because there's so many characters to choose from. I think we could have quite interesting varied lists.
Yeah, I would say so. Mine's probably full. I think mine probably full of a lot of bad guys.
most probably. So this ranking is going to come out on Monday, the 8th of August. And on Thursday, hopefully, we can get the scheduling in. We're going to review Us, the Jordan Peele movie, ahead of the imminent release of Nope, which we're both really looking forward to seeing. And it seems to be getting pretty good reviews.
I've not actually seen any reviews for it, so actually no, I've seen one, and somebody said Jordan Peele doesn't do bad movies or something like that. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it, and I'm watching Us tomorrow, which isn't tomorrow because when this comes out, no, that'll be tonight. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching Us. So yeah, looking forward to completing the trilogy so far.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, in terms of where you can find us, we're on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Our Twitter community continues to grow, and we're now approaching 1,000 followers. So, if you're listening and don't follow us, get on that. On YouTube, you can see our beautiful faces. We're on 56 subscribers. We feel like there's probably more people that listen to it that don't subscribe. So, if you haven't already subscribed, get onto that. But you can also listen to our audio versions on Spotify, Anchor, Good Pods, Apple Podcasts, and all the places where you can listen to your podcasts.
Good rundown, son. Good rundown.
I feel like I'm getting more confidence in Slick doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Do you want to say our tagline, or should I?
I think you should say it in your best Game of Thrones impression.
Okay. The power of killing off characters unceremoniously.
Whose voice was that?
I don't know. It's kind of a mix of like somebody and somebody else. I don't know. It was terrible. Sorry.
And I just thought
you can tell next week's impressions are going to be great.
I just thought of another couple of characters we haven't mentioned in this episode, which are definitely going to be in my character ranking.
Oh, okay, we're going to spoil it for a second.
I'm going to tell you. So check us out next week. Right, thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.